and we bring it. It's so play. English way. Hey,
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the dark side of the podcast, the darker side tonight. And thank you. Podcast, your home for rational crypto news on occasion is for rational crypto news and observation. Is that what we do? Podcast, your home for rational crypto news and observation. I forgot my own damn monologue. Leaving emotion objectivity. Leaving emotion at the door, talking about what we like, why we like it, and where we see it going. We are not offering financial advice. We're telling you what we do, and that is all. We don't slow down. We don't let up. Full speed is our only speed. I'm your host, Scott, pragmatic investor who has won and lost fortunes. Joining me, as always, greatest producer of all time, the one, the only, the original, the red-headed Belle. How are you doing tonight, Belle?
You know what? I'm quite frankly astounded right now. How about you, Scott?
Oh, no, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it came out. That's it. But
that's what's shocking.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And that's kind of what happens when you get two crypto teams that are, at least one I know is sketchy as hell, and the other one I'm not even familiar with even a little bit. But when you decide to debate the legalities of what you're doing and what they're doing, and you decide to do it in a big old open forum like Twitter, and you do it in a space that is very conscientious, such as crypto, yeah, man, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly real quick. Now, clearly, we're discussing the who's the other party in this? Iagon is one party. Who's the other party, Belle? I forget.
Nuvola Digital.
So I am not familiar with Nuvola Digital. I have no idea what they do. I don't live in Cardano, man. I don't get around there too much, so I can't speak on them. But Iagon, they caught my interest way back when. I think it was like our first videos, and that was like in January 2024. And
yep.
Then kind of what I considered the bombshell video in October 2024. Kind of proving out everything that we were discussing. Look, man, it is nothing against them, but after using their protocol, I was like, I can't even begin to justify the kind of valuation that they have wrapped up in this thing, because this is, you could vibe code that. I mean, you could literally vibe code all of that, and you could probably do it in a day and have something similar stood up. And what I saw was a very, very centralized, unencrypted storage solution that is advertising itself as decentralized. That's really all it was. And this is my wheelhouse. I mean, we built apps. We have more in the pipeline. We've been in and around this. I've worked data centers my entire life, so I like to think I can speak with authority on what it actually takes to host real data. And looking at that, I was like, boy, that ain't it. Now, I did release the video. It didn't get many views. I don't know, 450, which is actually pretty heroic for this channel. We've completely died out, but yeah, it did get some views, a little bit of discussion, mostly attacks. That's it, man. People in crypto, they don't really invest for the tech. They say they invest for the tech, but deep down, I don't think they even know or care what the tech is or what the tech does, and they certainly don't care how the tech works. What they care about is, will token go up? And that's kind of it. So anytime you mention that the tech itself may be flawed, all the investors on that take it very, very personally, like it's an affront to their investing savvy. And they're not going to hear it anymore. All they're going to do is you can't attack the message. You have to attack the messenger. And I've been through this many, many times, so I'm not really sweating it. But it's kind of funny that it all kind of sort of came to light right now. And we'll go ahead and chew through a little. We'll go ahead and chew through this. Belle's got it pulled up, and she can talk about the points. We'll address the points, and then we'll kind of move on, because I do care about decentralized data storage. I do care about privacy. I do care about encryption. I do care about all these things. For God's sakes, I wear it on my chest. So yeah, it's definitely worth us discussing tonight, and we'll go ahead and start picking those points apart right there. Of course, if you guys have questions, comments, want to weigh in, if you're a big Iagon fan and just want to call me a piece of shit, line up, man, go for it. We don't there's no question that we won't ask on this, and there's not an answer that I won't give you. So yeah, if you just want to hammer away at me, man, go for it. You won't be the first. You definitely won't be the last. So go ahead, Belle. Let's why don't you sum it up, take it from the top, and we'll start chopping up some points here.
Oh, I'm just gonna point out, okay, if you're gonna start attacking my co-host and I, you're gonna be biting off more than you can chew, because for once you get to see my face and hear my voice as I react to these. Scott won't react.
No, I've heard it all before, man. This is nothing to me. Go ahead, Belle. Let's get into it.
All right, so the two parties involved, Nuvola Digital and Iagon Official. So Nuvola is Cardano's first DPIN aggregator index. They state on their and it's on their Twitter profile, they are opening the gateway to a global rewards-based economy. Okay, yeah.
I get it.
You go on with your bad self.
Sure.
I got no particular feeling there.
No, none.
Now, Iagon Official, per their description on X, Iagon is an AI-driven shared storage and compute economy, bridging decentralization with compliance. Oh, we're about to have words. To revolutionize cloud services powered by IAG, the Iagon token. Okay, you say you're compliance focused. What level of compliance are you supposedly trying to meet here? That's point number one.
Sure.
So anyway, Nuvola Digital did put out a post on X that starts off saying, though at times painful, truth remains the only way forward. Team Nuvola.
Yeah, I agree.
This is our formal statement of dissociation from Iagon Official due to misleading and factually incorrect statements regarding their product and service offerings. Next section, findings and proof.
Okay.
Over the course of our partnership with Iagon, we've identified critical flaws in Iagon's storage services, issues that independent third-party audit reports and Catalyst F13 milestone submissions have since confirmed, though not fully disclosed publicly by the Iagon team. According to Iagon's Catalyst 13 funding deliverables, Iagon's network design is dangerously flawed, not fully encrypted, highly centralized, and poses significant risks to both security and scalability.
Yeah, and
then they give.
You want to crack into that, or do you want to address the point?
After that, the next section is a list of no less than 8 links verifying the above statement.
Okay, so we'll start with the first one. The first video I did for this was back in January. Way back in January, where I went up there and I tried the protocol. Now, the concern that I had way back then was that when I went to sign up for it, I had to pay in ADA. Now, I'm not a huge Cardano person, so I don't know. Maybe this is how all the apps over there work. Maybe that's it, is that they all work with ADA, and that could be. I don't know.
But yet, on their public Twitter profile, they state powered by IAG.
Okay. Well,
why are they charging ADA?
I don't know, but when I went to sign up, because you can't test drive the protocol, you have to sign up for the protocol. I don't care for the Cardano wallets, Toot. I know that's your thing. I'm not trying to insult you. They're a little clunky for me. I like very, very minimalist, so it really didn't work for me. But when I did go to sign up for their protocol, I had to pay an ADA. I had to pay their protocol in ADA, and little first thing that went on my head is, okay, why do you have a token then? What's the point of the token if all you're doing is processing in ADA? Wouldn't it be better to simply pay your storage providers in ADA, because that's the token that you're taking in to pay your storage providers? Wouldn't that be kind of a better way? But it doesn't really matter. My second video came up in October 2024. And for what it's worth, it got a lot of views. I mean, 450 views on one of my videos is heroic for us because we're, you know, a dead channel. We don't speak hype, so it doesn't resonate terribly well with the community. But it was in that video right there that I showed you, literally step by step. I third screened everything. You saw exactly what I saw. Passwords being broadcast in plain text, files themselves being broadcast in plain text, and everything, every single bit of this ran through Iagon.com. And again, the video's still out there. I haven't pulled it down. I'm sure Bell could link it if you guys are really curious. But it all linked through Iagon.com. No RPCs, no third party, no anything. It all went straight to their servers. And what happened to it from there, I don't know. Could it have been distributed? Sure. Could it have been sharded? Sure. But when I went to recall a file, and I think their file size limit was, I don't remember offhand, guys, this is a year ago, but maybe let's call it 250 megs. That's it. They're capped out. You cannot upload a file bigger than that. 250 is it. Thereabouts. Give me a break. But when I went to recall it, it came back almost instantly. And anybody who's familiar with sharding, meaning that you're familiar with Filecoin, because that's effectively what Filecoin is doing. Getting data up there is not terribly hard because you're using a Google bridge. Filecoin uses a Google bridge. It all goes through Google. So sure, it's going to be fast getting up there. But getting it back, bring a lunch. All right, it could take hours or days to pull back every single bit of that file, reassemble it, and get it back over on your system. It takes forever. But when I went and did it on Iagon, man, that thing came back almost at hot storage speed. So what it suggests to me is that that video was not sharded. It was not sent out to storage providers. It sat there on a central server, and then it came back ricky-tick. So if you're doing what you're saying you're doing, you either cracked the code, broke the laws of physics, which maybe you did, or you're simply not doing it, sending it out and distributing it the way you say you're distributing it. Now, I'm an Occam's razor kind of guy, and the obvious answer to me tends to be the correct one, that these things never left. It sat there on a central server, and your entire protocol, that was it. You were basically a file server, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. People need file servers. We use them every day. If you have iCloud, you are using a file server. That's basically it. But if that's what you're doing, don't try to upsell yourself. Now, the plain text was a little bit alarming to me because it was both password and files. I could see everything. That means where I was sending it, that means that they could see everything. Everything. It's completely exposed. You're sending them naked data and trusting them either not to peek or trusting in their goodwill that something's happening on the backside that we simply can't see. But for that time, a simple man-in-the-middle attack on your personal system, it's going to expose all of your data. And if you could find the path, and I'm sure there's plenty of good hackers that see where the central point is that's feeding into their servers, little man in the middle right there, and that's it. You got everything. So it was curious to me, and I did make mention of it. Now, the very first response I got from that was somebody who posted it up to Iagon Official, and their answer was, your password is the encryption. We don't have to encrypt because your password is literally the encryption. That was the answer. Now, anybody who works in this field in IT at all has to be quite aware that your password is not encryption, man. All right, AES 256 is encryption. AES 128 is encryption. Encryption is encryption. Your password is not encryption, but that was their answer. And they continued on this just saying, I simply don't know what I'm talking about. So sure, I'll grant you that. Maybe I don't. But considering that I've spent the last 25, 30 years of my life building data centers and the last 5 years of my life building privacy apps, I want to say that maybe it is kind of something that I may or may not be familiar with, at least a little bit. So in this case, I believe that point to be absolutely correct. It is nothing but a centralized file server. That's it. Now, I cannot say they're closed source, and that's fine. I'm not going to bash them on that. That's intellectual property, and it should be closed source. Sigea, our app is closed source. We're not going to expose the code. We will allow an audit to happen before we go live. We're ready for that. But we will not expose our code to anybody. If you want to do what we do, then build it yourself. So I'm not going to bust their balls on that. But from what I'm seeing from a top level, it would simply be something that I would not choose to use. And I'm going to leave it there. Anyway, go ahead, Belle. Carry on. Second point.
I'm just going to say, okay, as far as encryption goes, there's generally two different kinds. There's symmetric, which is AES, it's 3DES, and asymmetric, which is RSA, ECC, the list goes on and on.
Yep.
Usually, encryption falls under one of those two. Neither one of those is password. That
No.
is not an encryption type.
No,
okay,
that was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous response. They even started screenshotting what they were saying, the shit they were talking about me on their Discord. Somebody was over there sending me all that stuff. I was loving
I know.
it. I was loving it. Yeah, keep it coming. Anyway, go ahead, Belle.
All right. So anyway, moving on, factual findings. Although the audit reports themselves are heavily redacted, and the ones that they have published are, they still reveal extremely concerning findings that have been acknowledged by Iagon in the final audit summary. Below, we highlight a few of the 25 plus medium to critical audit findings from the shortened and redacted reports and summaries.
Yeah.
All right, so security and privacy. Any and all files uploaded to the Iagon storage network are uploaded to a centralized server, unencrypted and unprotected, giving Iagon full unencrypted access to all user files. See section 2.1.1 of final audit summary. Then they give the centralized server IP address, the
they do.
PC provider, and the location along with the owner of that location. Okay, then they're moving on to centralization of file access. The centralized gateway index server is the only way to access the Iagon storage network. If the gateway index fails, users risk permanent data loss despite underlying decentralization via storage nodes. This creates a single point of failure for all of Iagon's clients. See 2.1.2 of final audit summary.
Yeah, now let me weigh in here for just a sec, Belle. We'll get back to the rest. We got you. All right, look, we got time here. So how does this, the only reason that I'm even mentioning this one is, one, because that's kind of bad design. And if there were redundant servers up there, then I'll give you a break. Because look, man, I work in this business. This is my industry. I understand sometimes the blinking lights stop blinking. But when that occurs, the redundant servers have to kick in. All right, that's what it is. For us personally, because we are data pimps. We're not in the data storage industry. We're a data tunnel. But because of that, we have to, because we are centralized, and we've admitted this right from the get-go, in order to get your data from your device onto Jackal, we are the intermediary to make that happen. But we have 3 servers that are stood up right now just for our beta testers. And I would ask anybody who is out here beta testing, have you ever, unless we announced it, that we are changing APIs or something like that, because this is a beta and I'm sure you guys get that. But have you ever been denied access to your data? You haven't. I know, because I would have heard about it long before anybody else would have even noticed it. So the centralization part, I don't have any issue with. The big issue I have is plain text. That's the issue I have. And currently, Sigea itself, our encryption is turned off. I just went over that as we are rebuilding our path, but anybody who's tested up till now can definitely verify that, yes, the encryption is there and it is taking place. When we get the 128 integrated, encryption goes on. It'll never go off again, but this is part of the process. But the kicker, and what I'm getting at, is that we will always have redundant servers because we are using decentralized servers. And if we are using decentralized servers, we cannot count on those decentralized servers, meaning anybody can walk up and pull the plug. I don't even know where they are. We need to have backups and backups for those backups. And the very second, we're basically doing a self-healing server kind of thing. The very second that we lose a server, we're spinning up a new one behind the other 2 that are already up and humming and waiting for you. You can never, ever be denied access to your data. We're well aware of that, and we've taken steps. So it would take an absolute act of God to bring us down to the point where you can't get your data. It's not the case with Iagon. I've tried them different times of the day, different paths, different everything, different clumps, and it all goes to the same place, not one time, but every time. And if you're going to take a good hard look at ours, anybody's more than welcome to. You're going to see several different IPs on there. We're moving APIs, we're testing things, testing hardware, but we are also stress testing our network for failure, because we can't have that. We cannot have a single point of failure, and I'm afraid that Iagon does. Go ahead, Belle. Carry on.
All right, moving on to architectural and patent design flaws. With respect to the architectural design, the Modus Architecture Audit, redacted, audit report concludes that a management node has significant potential to collude with compute nodes in order to affect price manipulation. See section 3.1.0.4.
Yeah, now on that particular point, I can't speak on that one. I'm not even sure what they mean by price manipulation. I don't get it. Is it price manipulation of the token, or is it price manipulation of the cost of data storage? I don't know which way that is. That's a little bit vague. We just going down the list there. I have no particular insight on this one.
I think we're going to have to take the time and actually read that Modus Architectural Audit report and see what we can glean from it.
Yeah, and if I cared more about that, I certainly would. You're more than welcome to, Belle. I'm more concerned about the architecture of the network in general, as opposed to one particular thing that may or may not make data cost more. I have no idea. I don't know. If anybody out there in the audience has any insight, please type it in, and I'm more than happy to capitulate to your point. Go ahead, Belle.
All right, so the next section is legal risk exposure and non-compliance. And this one I've got bones to pick.
Yep.
All right, because files are uploaded through a centralized server in unencrypted form, Iagon has full access to user data, creating major privacy and data protection risks, and therefore undermining any claims of being GDPR compliant. You think? You think?
Okay, because they're not a protocol. They're a file server. That's it. You could spin one up in your basement. You could literally integrate that code, spin one up in your basement. There's nothing to it. So, yeah, and I know that's a hot button for you.
How are you bridging decentralization with compliance? I mean, you're not even meeting bare minimum to be any kind of compliant. What do you say you do here?
What would you? And there you go. That's Belle's thing. What would you say you do here? I love that movie, by the way. I never get tired of that one. All right, carry on, Belle.
But yeah, then it moves on saying, okay, well, they actually list relevant GDPR violations, which are also HIPAA violations, by the way.
Yep.
And that's kind of dragging my focus. Relevant GDPR violations based on official sources. Article 5.1f. Personal data must be processed securely, ensuring confidentiality and integrity. Scott, when you tested them, I believe everything about your account was visible.
Oh, God, yeah, everything. Password, which happens to be my encryption. I wasn't aware that a password was encryption, but they pointed it out to me on their Discord. Not to me personally, amongst themselves, and they all had a good time at my expense, and then somebody copied, pasted it, and sent it over to me. Yeah, it was as plain text as can be. I mean, there it is. I literally created a file. I called it plain text and sent it up. And oh, look, there I saw it right there in the console. Yep, that's it. That's the file. That's the that's what's inside of it. That's everything. So yeah, it ain't that hard. And no, there's nothing about that is even remotely secure. And I could go on a whole different tangent here, but I'm not gonna. I want to finish the list. So go ahead, Belle.
All right. So the next one, Article 32. Mandates encryption, resilience, availability, and regular testing based on the risk level. Okay, they're not encrypted. I mean, from point A all the way through, they're not encrypted.
No.
Article 9 covers sensitive data like health, biometric, genetic, political views, etc., requiring enhanced protection. Well, if you're not encrypted, you're legally not allowed to house any kind of health information. You are technically not allowed to house personally identifiable information. That's why we're shooting for HIPAA compliance, because we're determined to keep all of that stuff safe.
Yeah, and ours, we actually came up with a very, very kind of unique solution, and for us to be able to process medical records and medical data and all that stuff, because that's kind of our end goal. I'm sure you guys are aware of that. But we did come up with a very, very unique solution to this, and it does meet HIPAA standards. That was it. That's it. Everything that we do, assume anything that we're doing out here, for anybody who's using Sigea Cloud or testing Sigea Cloud right now, just assume that we are treating every single bit of data as if it was medical data. That's it. That's our standard. That's our bare bones standard for this, because everything up here, and with the way the world is turning right now and the surveillance state is just spinning up, we have to assume that anything that you send to Sigea, you intend to keep absolutely private in a convenient manner. You're welcome. But that you intend that to be absolutely, completely gone from the world. And that's how we've built out our network, to do exactly that, including medical records. So not only is our standard exceeds HIPAA compliant standards, we're not bare minimum on anything. We are actually maximum all the way across the board for the technology that's currently available to mankind. But if something new comes out, I assure you, and it has a library that we can push it as one of our dependencies, I assure you that we're going to be integrating that one as well. Look, here's a difference I want to say between us and what something like Iagon and some of these other guys are doing. We're selling a service, all right, and you should have certain standards that you expect of our service. We're not selling a token. Now, where I said I was talking, going Occam's razor on all of this before, because I also heard and saw their press releases that Ford Motor Company is going to be using Iagon as their storage solution, and a couple of these other like Fortune 100 companies that are going to be going with Iagon. From my cursory examination of this, just my very, very top level, the very first thing that anybody who's doing due diligence on this protocol is going to do, you failed before you even started. So I was like, there's no fucking way Ford Motor Company, the third largest automobile manufacturer on the planet, third or fourth now, I don't know, but it's somewhere. Look, you guys all know who Ford is. I was like, there's no way in holy hell that they're going with Iagon. They don't want their engineering schematics sitting on somebody's end table, because that's the little module that Iagon was building, which is effectively just a thumb drive that you plug in, and you just trust that everything's going to be fine because their protocol is so good. I was like, there's just absolutely no way. But if you make announcements like that, what happens? You sell tokens. You sell tokens that I'm not even sure what you guys do with. What is the purpose of them? Because anybody with the way your protocol is designed, for Ford Motor Company to use it, they have to pay you in ADA, right? Or cash, because that's how your protocol is set up. So what's the purpose of your token? So is this announcement real because Ford is suddenly stepping in? And I noticed that Ford didn't make a press release, which tends to happen in something like this. The company itself doesn't need to make a press release. The user will make a press release. The person that has more clout, more stroke, more trust, they're going to make the press release, and you are simply going to amplify it. That's the way it works. But I noticed that Ford didn't say anything, and I found it a little bit odd that nobody questioned that. Nobody said anything. Any of these big companies that are forming into partnerships will always make announcements, or they will make joint announcements at the same time, but that didn't occur. It just didn't happen. So are they actually partnering with Ford Motor Company, or was this just a bullshit announcement that they dredged up so that they could sell tokens? Look, here's how it works in crypto, just so you guys are clear. When you make an announcement like that, it means you sent somebody an email and you're waiting for a response. That is how it works in crypto. Belle, I see you just bouncing.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
So, okay, that announcement was complete horse shit. Okay. In August of 2022, Ford and Google released a joint announcement stating that Ford Motor Company was going to be using Google Cloud as their preferred cloud provider to house and manage its data. That is easy to look up and verify. You're not doing yourselves any favors.
No. They're going with Iagon, Bell. They're the greatest. They're the absolute best. I'm not even bashing them. Well, a little bit. Obviously, it's clear I'm bashing them. If they would have just been open and honest, I wouldn't have had to do any of this stuff because I don't care. I don't use enough Cardano. I have my own storage protocol that I'm a lot more concerned about than the Iagon storage protocol. So if they'd have just been open and honest, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have had to say anything. But when you start saying that we're that's okay, guys. Look, Sigea Cloud is the official decentralized storage provider of Coca-Cola. There you go. You heard it. You heard it here first. We're putting it up. That's all you need to do, apparently, Bell, in this space is just simply make an announcement. So, yeah, guys, we got Coca-Cola. All right, we're good to go. We're good to go.
I'm just saying, okay, Ford is also invested in 2 brand new data centers to help house their data. Why would they spend that kind of money if they were using Iagon?
I don't know, Bell. Anyway, go ahead and carry on, Bell. Get to the rest of the point.
All right, anyway.
We'll finish this up.
The next one is Recital 39, which emphasizes lawful, fair, transparent processing with confidentiality safeguards. I mean, the files going up are transparent. That's for bloody sure.
I guess it depends how you define the word safeguarding. That's it. That's where it is. How you define the word safeguard and how you define the word encryption, because that's kind of where we're stuck. Look, Sigea Cloud uses AES 256. Those are our dependencies. Those are our libraries. You want to snoop, go for it and snoop. You're going to find out that that's who we're tagging off from is AES 256. But yeah, because I actually understand how this works and I actually understand what's required to safeguard your data. Your personal privacy is of paramount importance to me, and that's the only thing that matters to me. If we ever got to the point where I would even remotely consider selling out so that, this could, it simply wouldn't happen. All right. This is more important. What we're doing here is more important than anything else. And we're not asking you for anything. Who out here, show of hands in the audience, who's testing Sigea that we have even asked for $1 from? Anybody? We have, I don't know, I think about 130 beta testers between iOS and Android. We got more Android than we actually have iOS. But have I asked?
I mean, other than asking occasionally for people to, tip the bell. I mean, that's it.
That's a YouTube thing, though. But
that is a YouTube thing.
No, it's actually costing me money to host your data right now. Nature of the business, man. No part of this is free. So, we haven't asked you guys for $1 because we're not there yet. When we're there, and we can do every single thing that we said we can do, I'm going to ask you to pay me, with the exception of the beta testers. You guys are 50 gigs for life, all right? Use it up. If you need more than 50 gigs, you're going to have to pay us for that, man. Sorry. We're in this for profit as well. But yeah, that's, I think that that's the big difference. Look, crypto is skeevy. Anybody who's been in here more than 6 months has to understand that crypto is incredibly skeevy. And whatever a crypto founder tells me, I'm going to see what he's holding behind his back. Not some of the time, all of the time, because it's virtually every single time. So while I want to believe that they're on the up and up and that they mean the best, no part of what I've seen of their protocol, and this thing has been in development for years. We are miles in front of, I'm talking light years in front of them. And we didn't get any grants or anybody else's money or ask you guys to fund it. We didn't do any of those things because we did it wrong. I guess I'll just leave it there. Bill and I should be partying at conferences talking about how cool we are, but we can't afford it. That's kind of the difference, man. Look, we're selling you a service. We're not selling you a token. That's not our thing. That's not what we do. So I don't, and again, I'm not I'm not just that familiar with Cardano. Anytime I have a Cardano question, I send it to Toot. Toot is well entrenched over there. She's well known, so I send it over to Toot. Not, and I mean every single time, because I trust the people who know the things that I need to know, and she does. So I'm not. Go ahead.
I don't have any, I don't have any real over love or hate for Cardano. I do think they're people who have heard about all these BS projects and have gotten shellacked for them. I do think they deserve better.
They do. They do. And in this particular case, who was the protocol that they were partnered with that ended up getting tore up? What was it?
Which one?
Well, we have Iagon on one side, and on the other side was, what was
Nvola.
it? Nvola.
Nvola.
Shout out to Nvola. Look, if you guys actually need a storage solution, we're your storage solution. All right, no ifs, ands, or buts. You want to audit our code. Take a look. We are everything that you were expecting out of Iagon, but we can actually do it, and we actually meet the standards. Not only do we meet the standards, we wildly exceed the standards. Now, is this going to drive value over to Cardano tokens? No, not in any way, shape, or form. That's not us. We are chain agnostic. All right. Sigea Cloud itself is chain agnostic. Jackal Protocol happens to be our storage solution. So if you want to look into Jackal Protocol, go ahead and knock yourself out. But we're the people that will get your data from any chain in any place in the world, and we will get it to an actual decentralized storage protocol. I have no dog in this fight whatsoever, with the exception of Sigea Cloud. So, yeah, if you guys are really, really looking for that, my DMs are open. Bell's DMs are open. Bella at thepodcast.com, Scott at SigeaCloud.io, and I'd love to discuss your storage needs with you. And let's see if we can come to an accord. Anyway, do we got anything else on that, Bell, or can we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go
this
for it.
goes on.
Oh, yeah.
So, Recital 83, which is again relating to GDPR violations, encourages evaluating processing risks and adopting appropriate safeguards such as encryption. Obviously, we've covered that over and over.
I think so. Go ahead.
So, in conclusion, Iagon has repeatedly marketed themselves as decentralized, secure, and compliant, but the facts show otherwise. What exists today is a centralized, insecure, non-compliant system that falls far short of what was promised to Nvola as a partner and the broader Cardano community. So Nvola's next steps. Nvola will now be exploring legal remedies against Iagon for misrepresentation with respect to partnership and investment. Going forward, Nvola will not have any association, partnership, or collaboration with Iagon or any of its products and services.
Yeah.
We entered into a partnership on March 27th, 2024, and invested in Iagon under the belief that their network was decentralized, private, and GDPR compliant, as they repeatedly marketed it to be. The reports from independent audits conclude otherwise. Iagon's misleading statements have left us no choice but to take formal action to protect our community, partners, and investments.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious about that one, Bell. What was the price of the token? They entered in March of 2024. Is that's what that thing just
yes,
said?
Yes, actually my birthday, 2024.
Yeah, there you go. Pull up CoinGecko, look up Iagon, and tell me what the price of that token was in 2024. And I got a hunch that will completely explain this particular press release, because I got a hunch it was a hell of a lot more than whatever 13 or 14 cents that token is now. So what they mean, let me sum that up for you. What they mean by taking legal action is that they invested at such and such a price, and clearly it is no longer such and such a price. I got a hunch Iagon was about 40 cents then, 40, 45 cents, somewhere around there. Bell's going to tell us here in a second. But that being the case, their legal action is that they're going to want all their money back. That's literally what it is. It didn't work out. Somebody pissed off somebody on either side of it. I have a very, very hard time believing that they didn't do the very, very basic due diligence before they invested in Iagon. This is a hell of a lot deeper than a bad protocol, because Iagon is not a good protocol. But it goes deeper than that. This is simply coming down to a BD thing, and they're trying to say, how do we get our money back? Because we put all this money into Iagon and the token torpedo. Do you got it up there, Bell?
Okay, so the highest price point on March 27th was 21, almost 22 cents.
Okay, and currently it's sitting at
14.
Yeah. So in that time that they made this investment, they've shed off about 30% of whatever they put in there. It's gone, and they ain't getting it back. So that's what they mean by legal recourse. They're going to come up there and say, we want all our money back. It didn't work out. Give us all of our money back. But again, I have a real hard time believing that any kind of protocol that would put meaningful investment into something like this, meaning not Iagon, but one of their partners, would not do the very, very basic due diligence to see if they can do what they say they do. It took me, I think that video I put out was about 11 minutes. All right. That's how long it took me to actually go up there and say, nope, they're full of shit. So if you're making any kind of real meaningful investment into this, which could be 50, 100, 200, $500,000, whatever, you would have to know before you push in that kind of money what you're actually getting to. And that would actually make me start questioning the other side of this and say, okay, what did you think? And who was doing your due diligence before you made an investment like this? Because I understand that you guys have a token as well. So, and do they, Bell? Do they actually have a token? Can you look it up, see if you can find it? I'm just curious. But
Iagon or NVL?
MVL. Do they have a token as well?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, what a surprise. So, yeah, it's the whole thing just turned into a big fat mess. That's it. And somebody pissed off somebody else. You had to know what they were before you pushed your money in here. There are absolutely no babe in the woods here. None. So whatever partnership they may or may not have had completely broke down. People took it really personally. They broke it down and decided publicly to go ahead and air all of their dirty laundry. Now, is this going to affect the Iagon token price? Probably not, because Iagon is stuffed with community members now. And you guys know what I mean when I say community members. It means that you're stuck. All right, you paid way too much for the token, and it's actually rock bottom right now. So with that being the case, it doesn't matter what kind of dirty laundry gets aired out here, because they don't care. It doesn't matter to them. The only thing that matters to them is token go up. So when you see a big dip like you just saw on that announcement, Bella, you see that big old wicked red candle?
Oh, yeah, they literally dropped. They cratered.
I mean, just
right
instantly as soon as that came out. But you notice how it's already getting a recovery, because community members are going to see this as a chance to jump back in without even questioning the protocol, what it is, what it does, how it works. It really doesn't matter to them. So even when everything that I said is widely exposed, here it is, it's been third-party audited. These people that did the audit have no dog in this fight. It's nothing personal for them. They're just going to simply do their job. Community members will still jump on it and say, nope, everything that guy said. It's like from my cousin Vinny. That was Vinny's opening statement. Everything that guy said is bullshit. And then thank you. That's it. That's basically what's going on there. So it's kind of every day out here in crypto in one way or another. It's just rare, very, very rare that you get actual authenticity. People who really want to build something right for the purpose of building something right. People don't want to do that, man. They want to build it simply to string a community on as long as they can, live a different lifestyle than they would have ever lived anywhere else, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's kind of what's happening. So anyway, we got just a few more minutes.
So
go ahead.
They did do a community call to action, and then we can move on. So Nvola has actually put out a community call to action stating the community deserves truth, not deception. In order to find the truth and properly assess Iagon, we encourage the Cardano community to review the current public audit reports in F13 and request full unredacted audit reports and transparency regarding audit costs funded by Cardano.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen, but okay.
Request for an update on the current development state of Iagon and use of Catalyst funds. Share the facts, links, and reports so no one else is missiled. Given the seriousness of these findings, which raise concerns that run counter to the values of transparency, integrity, and trust on which Cardano was founded, we respectfully call on Input Output HK, the Cardano Foundation, and Emergo.io to initiate a thorough and independent investigation.
Yeah, and none of those things are going to happen. Look, man, you guys understand the news cycle of crypto, right? And something else will come up. Everybody's turns their head the other way, and this dies. This will be a thing for today. All right, today and maybe tomorrow, but after that, it's going to completely die out. It won't matter. Both of these guys are going to see their tokens start to get hurt, and that'll kind of be the end of it. That's just the way it works. And the best thing you can do in crypto, the best thing you can say in crypto is nothing. All right, let people form their own opinions. It won't really matter if they're community members. They absolutely won't say anything because they don't want to hurt their bags. And their hope is that other people come in and buy into it. You guys know how this works, so it really doesn't matter. But it's interesting. It's nice to be vindicated. This will go nowhere. This video will go nowhere. This live stream is obviously going nowhere. There's absolutely zero interest in this. The only interested parties, again, are and no community member is going to tune in for negativity. So anyway, look, we're not going to take a break. We're not going to play a song. Bell, do we have any questions or comments? Get them quick because I do want to sum up what's going on with Jackal here real quick. Go for it, Bell.
All right. So first comment coming in from Topcat. I'm still hanging on to my ADA. Truthfully, mostly because I forgot about it, but I'm okay hanging on to it.
Sure, and I guess you should. This has nothing to do with Cardano, except for the fact that both of these protocols exist inside of the Cardano ecosystem. Go ahead, Bill.
All right, so, Idiot Fish, was that the odd guy who kept going on about family photos and trees? I'm pretty sure that was a different guy.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure that was a totally different guy.
Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about. Go ahead, carry on, Bill.
All right. So 2, yeah, I've never been asked for a single cent or token to test Sigea.
No, and he won't be, man. Look, you guys are doing us a favor. Why the fuck would I ask you money to do me a favor? All right, it doesn't work that way. It's certainly not with us. Ask around. Go ahead, Bill.
All right, Mackenzie, Sigea is invaluable. Can't wait for it to go live.
Yeah, TikTok coming soon. Go ahead, Bill.
All right, 2, tons of good people and excellent minds in Cardano. Unfortunately, there are also skeezy people trying to get that money.
Yeah, and that's universal. That's a crypto thing. That's a crypto thing as a whole, man. It has nothing to do with Cardano. I know Cardano has some interesting products over there. Actually, there's some stuff that I like. The people who are thinking consumers. I'm a big fan of that. You guys have seen my show, so you know where I stand on that.
They don't seem to get a lot of help. That's the problem.
No, but
they've got great ideas and they're trying to get it built on their own, and they just don't have people like us chiming in and going, okay, you need to tweak this.
Yeah, but I don't know. Look, we're in a space where everybody knows everything. And when everybody knows everything, it's impossible to learn anything new, no matter how many. Dunmer, go ahead, Bill.
All right, so Idiot Fish, Ada is gonna still be around when a lot of these fancy chains are dead.
Yeah, likely. They got a strong community. All right, people like what's going on over there. They've built up, and that's all it comes down to is community. They've built up a very, very strong one. They're passionate people. Actually, I think the last bastion of actual Web3 ethos is probably happening over on Cardano more than anywhere else. It simply is. It is. Those people are passionate and they still believe in the ethos of decentralization. Very, very few other protocols actually out here do. And Jason, if you're looking for a short for me from tomorrow, clip that right there. Yeah, ADA, they're strong. They believe what they believe. I happen to agree with them. We just, we landed in Cosmos. That was unfortunate. Had we landed in ADA instead of Cosmos, I got a hunch more people would be listening to this show right now. Anyway, go ahead, Bell. Whatever's left. I need like 5 minutes to sum up. So whatever's left, go ahead and get it out.
G Torres, Sigea would be a lot easier for the average person once it's on the app stores. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, and that's
We
coming.
agree.
Yeah, and we agree. Obviously, we agree, man. Like, for us to distribute the APK, it's no problem. But for some reason, humans out here simply will not trust any app that's coming to them that does not have the Google thumbs up for the APK, for the Android version of it. You need Google to give your approval before you trust an app, which is funny to me. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about why that's funny to me. I'm just saying that that's funny to me. And Apple is the same way. Until Apple, who is the bastion of trust, gives the approval that this is an acceptable app, people just don't trust anybody except for big tech, and that's amazing. Now, we could fight this, but it's not worth our time to fight it. What is worth our time is to do what people want, because we're a consumer application. So we want to do what consumers want. If they need Apple's thumbs up and Google's thumbs up, fine, we're going to get those thumbs up. And yes, it's a lot easier to distribute. Go ahead, Bill.
All right, so Top Cat, this video in an archive, it's still important.
Yeah, but you got to understand the crypto mindset. If you get the back out, Top Cat, and think about the crypto mindset, you'll understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. People don't care. If anybody was, any heavy Iagon investor was going to do their own personal due diligence, they would have never touched this thing, because it ain't that hard. I am not that technical. All right, I'm business development and distribution. That's my wheelhouse. That's where I exist.
You're not that technical. I mean, your dad's testing for us now.
Yeah, I know.
He's not technical at all.
No, my dad's a potato. But yeah, but if I could crack this thing and I could do it in an 11-minute video, that should tell you really all you need to know. So either I'm 100% full of shit or I'm 100% correct. And it seems like we have an audit report that suggests that I'm 100% correct on this one. So, yeah, due diligence aside, you should really do this very thing before you invest any of your hard-earned money in effectively any protocol. So anyway, go ahead, Bell. And again, I wrap it up quick because I got to have my say here.
All right. So, Toot, I think you guys have made the best points when it comes to devs building things for devs. Real people can't use those interfaces.
No, they're too tough. You got to make it simple. Go ahead, Bill.
All right. Toot again. If my mama can't figure out your interface, you may be sunk.
Yeah, and I'll ask you a question, Toot. Could your mother figure out Sigea? That's it. That's a fair question. Go ahead, Bill.
All right, Bud. Thoughts on Shane leaving Stargaze? Seems like a wasteland.
Yeah, it is, man. Look, NFTs had their moment, but their moment is past. All right, until somebody finds a new way to package them and make them interesting. Till then, they're just pictures that cost you a lot of money that are going to be worth less tomorrow than they were today when you paid for them. Go ahead, Bill.
All right, so Top Cat talking about her mama. Okay, so she tries to use it.
Okay, that's something. All right, anyway, look, guys, we got to wrap this up because Eagles and Cowboys are going to be playing real soon here, and I'm going to be watching it from coin toss to final second. I'm going to be watching this game. Eagles 35, Cowboys 13 if they're lucky. But I do want to address kind of what's going on with Jackal, because we're getting a lot of questions over on our Discord about this. Now, one, look, we have nothing to do with the protocol whatsoever. All right, we're not partners, we're not friends, we're not anything. I have nothing to do with that protocol. So if you have questions on the token price, take it over to Jackal Protocol. There's no point in bashing us. New Type, as much as I appreciate you dancing on my grave, bro, give it a break. All right, give me a break here. I got enough shit going on, and I got enough pressure in my life without having to defend myself in my own Discord. So just give me a break on this. But look, here it is. Bottom line, this is what is happening. Jackal is, in fact, selling their token to fund operations. This isn't coming from me. This is coming from Patrick. This is coming from the Jackal team. It is what it is. You guys understand what happens when you invest into a crypto token like this. You're giving money to the team so the team can build out their protocol. That's it. Now, Jackal is continuing to sell the token. I know they're waiting on a grant or a raise or funding or something like that for them to stop it. But until that happens, they will continue to sell the token because they have to fund operations. I understand that. So do I love it? No, but it is what it is. Now, here's the question that you have to ask yourself. You know of two big products, aside from everything else that Jackal's launched, and they have 5 different apps up there. But aside from those, here's what you have to ask yourself to decide if I'm going to get on the Jackal train or not. Will Respawn, which is Jackal's current flagship product, is Respawn. It's a neat idea. It's a very, very niche market, and there are riches in the niches. So I happen to agree with that one. And Sigea Cloud, which I like to hope you guys are familiar with by now. A lot of you guys are testing for us. Will we generate enough revenue to counter the tokens that the protocol is selling? That's it. That's it. That's your entire question right there. That is the only thing that you have to take into consideration. Will we generate more revenue for Jackal Protocol than Jackal Protocol itself is selling off? And that's it. If you believe that Respawn and Sigea Cloud will purchase and burn more tokens than the Jackal team is selling, then it's a good investment. If you don't believe that we will do one of those two things, that one of those two things will going to happen, and please keep in mind, I don't know what else Jackal has on their plate. I have no idea, man. They don't talk to me. I don't know. But as it sits right now, those are the two big things, Respawn and Sigea. If we put more consumers and more data on chain, meaning because we all have to pay for the data, Respawn has to pay for the data. Sigea has to pay for the data. We have to pay to have this stuff hosted. Will we generate more revenue than Jackal is currently selling off? That's it. Now, are they going to stop selling? I have no idea. Take it up with Jackal. Go to their Discord, their Telegram, whatever, and ask them. But that is literally it. I personally can't believe that there are any other major holders of this token in play that could cause this wicked red 2-cent candle. I don't believe that there could be anybody really left that has that much. But MintScan is also open to you, and you can take a look and see all kinds of wallets on there and see who holds what. So have a go, see what you think, and then make your own decision. But that's it. I mean, that literally is it. I like to simplify things, and I believe that that's about as simple as I can do it. Now, for me personally, I'm still buying Jackal tokens. I have to. With the yield that I'm making for my other investment, I'm still buying Jackal tokens. I need these Jackal tokens to pay for storage for my Sigea Cloud customers. If it works out the way, and not saying it will, but I'm saying if it works out the way that I believe that it will work out, then I am paying right now currently pennies on the dollar for the value that I will accrue, that my company will accrue, that me and Bell's company will accrue. That every token that we buy at 3 cents, when we get a bounce on this token, we are paying pennies on the dollar for storage that we would be paying for at a 1-to-1 ratio. The Jackal protocol only functions on the Jackal token. So if for some reason Jackal was to go from 3 cents to 6 cents, I'm now paying 50 cents on the dollar for the data storage that I'm purchasing from them. If it was to go to 12 cents, I'm paying 25 cents on the dollar for what I would be paying for this Jackal storage. And if it was to go to 24 cents, obviously do the math yourself here, man. I'm paying 10 cents on the dollar for what I could be getting for this. So that's why I'm investing in it, and that's why I continue to invest in it. I believe in our protocol. I believe in Sigea Cloud, and I know what I know. So will we be able to outpace them? At launch, no. At launch, no. We will not be able to outpace them. You got to give us a little bit of time for us to get our stable together. But over time, yes, we will wildly outpace what they're spending. That's where I'm at on that. Now, personally, if I was you, I would completely sit this one out, man, because if I'm wrong, you're broke. If I'm right, you're in a good shape. If I'm wrong, you're dead broke. So I would personally sit this one out, wait, see how it works out. But it's been my experience that sitting and waiting will only ever get you so far. So use your own judgment on this. This is not financial advice, clearly. I'm just telling you what I'm doing personally, what me and Belle are doing personally, because this is what we've always done. So anyway, that's it, guys. We got to wrap it up. The game's coming up. Belle is going to go ahead and talk us up, take us out. We will not be back until Monday, I believe, Belle. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right.
Yeah, that
So,
is correct.
Hope you guys enjoyed the stream tonight. I noticed that we're down to single digits again. Welcome back to the podcast. But go ahead, Belle. Talk us up. Talk us out. It's been a wonderful time, guys. Go ahead.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who joined us this evening, we cannot say thank you guys enough. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys and the comments and questions you send our way. Now, with that being said, we are not going to be back on until Monday night. Are we going on at 6 or 7 Monday, Scott? Because, football.
6.
All right. So we will be back on at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Monday night. In between now and then, if you guys have any other comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to either Scott or myself, Scott@thepodcast.com, or Bella@thepodcast.com, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, we can't thank you enough, guys, and we'll see you Monday.